pimp, not a simp. A pimp, not a simp. A pimp, not a simp. We eat so many shrimp. I got iodine partners.
My bitch a choosing lover, never fuck without a rubber. Never in the sheets like it on top of the cover. Money on the dresser, drive a compressor. Top notch hoes, get the most, not the lesser. Trash like the buck for $40 in the club. Fucking up the game, bitch, it gets no love. She be cross country, giving all that she got. 1,000 a pop, I'm pulling business off the lot. I smashed up the gray one, bought me a red. Every time we hit the parking lot, we turn head. Some hoes wanna choose, but them bitches too scary. Your bitch chose me, you ain't a pimp, you a fairy.
A pimp, not a simp. A pimp, not a simp. A pimp, not a simp. We eat so many shrimp. I got iodine partners.
Baby, you been rolling solo, time to get down with the team. The grass is greener on that other side, if you know what I mean. I show you shit you never seen, the 7 wonders of the world. And I can make you the 8th if you wanna be my girl. I say my girl, I don't mean my woman, that ain't my style. Need a real street stalker, walk a green mile. Piling up the paper on the dining room table, cause you able to realize I'm the truth and not a fable. Baby, rockin' what you say, but keep that chiller on the rack. What I look like with some $1,000 shit up on my back. I'm a $1 million man, they need $1 billion bitch. Put my pimpin' in your life, watch your daddy get rich. Easy as ABC, simple as 1, 2, 3. Get down with UGK, Pimp CBU with B. Cause what's a hoe with no pimp, and what's a pimp with no hoe? Don't be a lame, you know the game and how it goes. We try to get chose.
A pimp, not a simp. A pimp, not a simp. A pimp, not a simp. We eat so many shrimp.
Dude.
Iodine partners.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome this evening. Thank you for coming out to watch. This is kind of almost impromptu. I should have probably thought about it ahead of time, but I felt like, you know what, I had to because, okay, somebody recommended this video to me. I told them, like, I remember seeing this a couple years ago. I remember it being completely batshit crazy. And I remember thinking to myself, this would be a great video to do a breakdown of. But at the same time, I remember there being like 3 parts that were fairly long, but they were so full of wrong with each sentence that this woman was saying that I felt like I could never have a reasonable live stream of this, because I would have to spend at least 20 minutes to break apart each sentence that she says. I'm going to try and see if I don't do that, and if I'm able to I'm going to try and see if I can surpass my limits and be able to bring, debunk most of what she's saying, as we go along. So this is called Moorish law. The person who uploaded this is has like broke down one of the parts into like 6 different sets. This is part 1. And this woman, I believe she's saying this she's making a presentation in Philadelphia or at least at the very least Pennsylvania. She mentions Pennsylvania in these. And her name is Queen Balara Renita El Harebe. So we're going whole hog into this. And she goes into everything. Like, and by everything I mean contracts, jurisdiction, courtroom practice, civil law, criminal law, and also I think she also delves into just straight up batshit insanity. So, without further ado, before I begin, really quick, people have been asking me about my intro song, and people have been asking me like, what song is that? I don't know. That's the answer. The problem is that I found this song from a meme that I found like when I was in freaking the end of undergrad, the beginning of law school when I was a first year. It was a meme thing, and I found where the original song came from, but it's now the site that it came from is now pretty much defunct. And I honestly couldn't tell you what the actual name of the track is. However, I will upload it, and I will send you guys a link to it where I can, when I can. if you want to have a copy for yourself. But I would seriously provide the origin of it if I could find it. I've actually tried something like that, Jay, and it turned up nothing. I genuinely tried that. So, okay, and yes, Thomas, tonight's drink of choice is Flying Fish Brewing Company, the Winter Crew. I've actually been getting. Somebody asked me if they could get they can get my address so they could send me a package of their craft beers. I'm flattered. I mean, I said, oh, sure, but that also reminds me I need to get myself a P.O. box pretty damn soon if you guys want to send me stuff. But I wasn't expecting myself to be a craft beer reviewer. Maybe that's going to be a side project. Who knows? But tonight's beer is Flying Fish Brewing Company's Winter Crew. Never had it before. Pretty good. It's a very strong winter ale. I will say that. God.
And that in fact this is our land. So beginning with that premise, whether you're more
And we're already wrong.
or not more,
We're like not even 3 seconds.
going to start with what law really is. Most of us think that we go into a
Here's the thing. Because I know most of you guys know that most of this shit's wrong, I'm going to try and see if I can isolate some of the more heinous wrong stuff. I'm going to try and do that.
courtroom and understand the difference between a court and a courtroom, that the people who purport to use law really use words of art to make you believe, in fact, that law is on the table when you walk into a courthouse or a courtroom, when in fact that's not true.
Right
And I
on.
would like to share with you tonight, regardless of your religious persuasion, what law really is. Law, all law, is A-L-L space L-A-W. All.
So already, I already feel like downing this beer just for her making that sort of fucking word linkage thing. That's straight out of. Yeah, I know, Hannah. I mean, are you guys already not watching me? Aren't watching Artrex's drinks? I mean, that's basically half this channel already. But that already makes you want to fucking shotgun, or well, not shotgun, but just basically flatline the rest of this beer.
Law, all law. So for anyone who's of a Christian persuasion, don't be misled. And when you hear the term all law is God, all right? That is also what we would say in lawful terms, a misnomer. Allah is not God. God has no capacity and no
Copyright.
standing to
I think,
all
pretty sure,
law.
I'm pretty sure Alpha already thought up with the name, James.
Because God means
Wait, what?
governmental or
Ordnance departments? What, like the armory? Oh, James came up with it? Like, is she talking about Picatinny Arsenal?
ordinance department.
I think she...
There is no comparison. Now,
Ordnance?
who can use law? Law can only be used by people who are in their
Oh, what's up,
sovereign
Real Words?
capacity. And as I will share with you tonight, the majority of the people in the world, and I'm not going to get into all of the details about that.
No,
but the
she
majority of
wouldn't.
the
She's already wrong on so many levels, and we're not even 5 minutes into
people in the
this.
world, 99% of them live in slavery today. So in 1863, via the Emancipation Proclamation, and I challenge you to go look in a law dictionary.
It's pronounced with an
and
E,
look up the
or spelled with an
definition
E.
Of emancipation and proclamation, and you will see that a proclamation is not a law.
It's not.
A proclamation is a public announcement
Right.
by elected officials.
She's actually
It is
not wrong here.
law. So the Emancipation Proclamation of 1863 did not set any slaves free.
Well, yes, it did.
What it did was standardized slavery, the United States being the model for the standardization of slavery, that all of the other nations around the world, as they reduced their people from their sovereign capacity and forced them to join nation states, then they were able to issue statute, codes, ordinances, resolutions on them. And a statute as in a state statute of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, is not a law. It is corporate policy
No, it's
of
not.
the corporation that calls itself the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Incorporated.
No.
Now, a code
no.
is not a law.
Yes, it
The
is.
United States codes, the code of the laws of the United States of America that are used in federal court and the Supreme Court are not laws.
Yes, they are.
What they say they are. They are codes, ordinances, and
A
resolutions.
code
of the
is an
municipality
organization of
City of
statutes,
Philadelphia,
which is
a private
themselves
nonprofit
are
corporation
law.
that calls itself the City of Philadelphia. An ordinance and a resolution, as in parking ordinances, they are not law.
Oh my God.
They are what they say they are. They are ordinances and they are resolutions. All right? And the reason they are not law is because the only people who can issue law are people who are acting in their sovereign capacity.
What?
And the people who sit in these
According to
seats as
who?
elected officials are not, in fact, in their
You?
sovereign capacity. They are in a corporate ward status.
What?
Meaning that they are wards of the state. They are members of the corporation, which is a nonprofit that calls itself the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And as long as they have a birth certificate on record with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, with that birth certificate being a contract.
Remember what I just said, that I would have to spend 20 minutes trying to debunk and explain why each and every sentence, 20 minutes each for each sentence that she says, because there's so much wrong layered in.
A birth certificate is a contract. And as long as you have a contract with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Incorporated, you belong to them. And that's what slavery really is. All right? So who can use law? If you are a member of a corporate ward state, if you are a member of a corporate ward nation that calls itself the United States of America, you are a citizen. Look in the law dictionary and look up the definition of citizen.
Okay.
A citizen is not a sovereign. A resident is not a sovereign. Therefore, if you use an address, which is a fictitious number associated with a designation issued by
Yes, it's a location.
a corporate ward.
What else are you gonna do to tell somebody where you live? Is that
Right?
that's not supposed
Then
to
you
signify
come
anything?
under the jurisdiction
Oh my God.
of those people who are also corporate wards, but who are
Oh, and the fact, okay, here's a shocker. If you're homeless, you're still subject to the laws of the geographic location that you're in.
also
You don't need an address.
slaveholders. All right?
Ah.
So if you're operating in that capacity, law does not apply to you. If you are a resident of the City of Philadelphia, which is a private nonprofit corporation, and you say you are a resident of the City of Philadelphia, then the ordinances and the resolutions of that private nonprofit corporation apply to you. If you are a citizen of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Incorporated, which is a private nonprofit corporation, then the statutes of that nonprofit corporation apply to you. If you are a citizen of the United States of America,
Again,
which
the
is
way
a
they
private
operate with these things
nonprofit
is-
corporation, then the code of the laws
Start with a false premise.
apply to you.
Build on that false premise
But if
with
you are
false
a
conclusions,
sovereign
and then
of the
build upon
Moorish
that, and build
Empire,
upon that, and build upon
those
that.
ordinances, those resolutions, those codes, those statutes do not apply to you because
Yes,
you are
they do.
not a member of the corporate ward state.
Doesn't
It's
matter.
as simple as that. And they understand the difference. This is
Try it. Try this in court. See how it flies. And then when you get sent in for contempt of court for 20 days, then you'll find out whether or not you're still subject to them.
why on their documents they
Asian
use
Canadian
words
with a
of
$5
art.
super
They
chat.
use the word
If
labels,
USA is a
they use the
corporation,
word
what is the Moorish
person,
Empire
they
if
use the
neither
word
are tangible
address.
and real and only
All
on
of these
paper?
things that place you
Excellent
in their
question,
jurisdiction,
Canadian.
and you
They don't like to talk
unknowingly
about that.
Fill out forms every day, and every time you fill out a form, you enter into
I mean, if we're going to say that nation states are fake and intangible, then so are empires.
a contract. I don't care what kind of form it is. It's a contract. A driver's license application is a contract.
No, it's
Social
not.
Security application is a contract.
No, it's not.
When you call up the telephone company and you make a verbal contract over the telephone, this is why they can bill you. When you sign a deed, it is a
No,
contract. When you fill out
a deed is not a contract. Your mortgage can be construed as a contract, not the deed itself.
voter registration form, it is a contract. Does everybody understand that? Don't ever think anything that you put your signature on becomes a contract. All right?
Really? Really? Me filing an affidavit, signing an affidavit is a contract with who?
Now, the fact that you are not in your sovereign status means that you make a contract as a minor. They don't care.
Oh my God.
They know you are a minor because, and to be other than a minor, you have to be in your proper person at law. And how we write that is this.
Oh God, here, okay, yeah, here's the propria persona bullshit.
Can y'all see that? Impropria persona.
Oh my God, she's using those things from back in high school. Man, that's classic. I forgot what they're called.
Your persona. When you are in your corporate ward status, you look like this.
Propane persona.
Pro se.
Overhead projector. Yes, that's what they are. Yes, thank you, teacher. I remember dealing with that bullshit in my math classes more often than not.
Pro se meaning they get you in the court
Fucking
and they bring
trig,
someone in
algebra,
called a
calculus.
pro se cuter.
That's what causes me to drink, is making word nuology connections like that is fucking insane. I'm sorry, Root. I'm sorry. You do this shit, Root, and it's fucking insane. It's no basis at all. The fact that prosecutor has pro and se in there in the syllable does not mean it means pro se, as in,
prosecutor, because
I'm already
you're in
losing my
corporate
mind.
status.
I'm not even one beer in and I'm already losing my
If you're
mind.
in propria persona, saying their criminal allegations, the prosecutor cannot come into the courtroom and say anything to you because you're not in pro se status. Makes sense, right?
No, it
Issues of
doesn't.
law.
It doesn't make
Issues-
sense. It makes no fucking sense. No heart rate monitor. My heart can't. Maybe I should have my heart rate monitor on this because you guys might have to be a health check for me. Because that makes no fucking sense whatsoever. Fine, fuck it. I'm getting my heart rate monitor because I might need you guys to help me here. I'm getting another beer. Already losing my damn mind. Thank you guys. $4.99 super chat. Jay White, have you heard of Moorish trying to claim tax exempt status? Yes, I have. I've seen plenty of those actually. A fair amount, yes.
Issues of law are threefold. The issues of law are status, jurisdiction, and adjudication. The first thing that happens when you walk into a courtroom in your corporate ward status is that they already make the assumption that you are a ward of the state.
No.
And that you don't.
There is a presumption of jurisdiction. There's a presumption of territorial jurisdiction and personal jurisdiction. That it's a rebuttable presumption, but it's there. That's about the extent of it. The issuing ticket, the citation, holds territorial jurisdiction and personal jurisdiction. You can rebut it if you were to say that you have diplomatic immunity, but it's on you to present that. Hey, Emmy.
Know any better. So they immediately start adjudicating you. As the first thing that happens when we walk into a courtroom is that we place our status on the record. On the record.
For the record, and let the record show.
We come in with our treaty.
When $5 from Nathan, when it hits 150 beats per minute, we'll give you a heads up. Please do.
It's a contract between who? It's a contract between the United States Republic and the United States of America.
That's not a thing!
There are certain clauses in that contract that apply to Moors, which takes us back to the Treaty of 1787.
Bullshit!
But that contract between the United States and the United States of America does not apply to us other than that part that discusses the treaty.
No! Wrong! Wrong, you asshole! Wrong! You cannot self-declare to be a foreign national. That's not how that works. That's not how any of this fucking works. In the eyes of the United States, you were born here, you are a citizen here, and you are subject to its laws. You can't just arbitrarily say, oh wait, I'm actually a Moor and I'm going to declare my citizenship with a Moorish the Moorish Empire, which is modern day Morocco, so you're not even declaring allegiance to any fucking state or status in the first place. But even fucking if you were to say that you are now a foreign, you're not subject to the law. You're not a citizen, or you're not a corporate ward status. You're still subject to the laws because you're physically here.
So it's not
the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Any courtroom and argue
controls
about their ordinances, their codes, their statutes. The only thing we're in there to talk about is, have we violated the treaty? Have we violated
it's irrelevant.
That part, which is Article 6 of the Constitution?
You were speeding.
Us. That's the only question in the court.
You were speeding, 45 and a 30. The treaty is irrelevant.
You and the judge.
You fucking idiot.
That you need to discuss anything with in the courtroom besides the judge. The prosecutor is invisible to you.
Okay.
What do you have to say to that judge? My honor, not your honor. What is your status? What is your name?
Irrelevant.
What is your nationality?
I am Judge Arty.
All right.
And my nationality is irrelevant.
I am a U.S. citizen. You cannot be a citizen and sit a bench. What? You can not be a member of the Bar Association, which is a private, non-profit corporation that issues registration numbers to its members who do not have a license to practice law in
I do.
Any state.
I do. I do. New Jersey and New York. Both still active.
Because in order to have a license to practice law, you must have your proper person.
She's an idiot, Root Words. I don't know what to tell you, dude. She's a moron.
And in order to be in propria persona in this country, whether that be North America, Central America, or South America, you must be a Moor. If they want to be sovereign, they've got to go home.
Oh, okay. Okay, buddy.
They cannot be sovereign here.
Okay.
The next issue of law is jurisdiction. Now, let me stick with status. What is the status of the prosecutor?
Okay, so she is basically what the other guys taught, the guys that we talked in the last stream. They're in the I haven't even finished that yet. The New Jersey case with the two gentlemen there. It sounds like they got their teachings from this crazy lady.
What is the status of the district attorney? What is
Doesn't
the
matter.
status of Lynn Abraham? Does
Doesn't
anybody
matter.
in this room know her nationality?
Don't matter. Don't matter.
I don't.
Don't matter. Straight
That's
like
an
that.
important question to ask her if she serves me with any papers. Who are you? Where is your license to practice law? Where is your proof of naturalization in my land?
Fuck you. I don't need anything to demonstrate to you my citizenship because it's fucking irrelevant to the situation.
And who gave you the authority to be here?
I don't need yours. Let's put it that way.
Right? Who issued you authority to act in any capacity, to file any complaint or any charges against anyone? That's the question.
Pretty sure.
And I say to you, she can't answer those questions.
What's up, Karen?
Right? So then, if you walk into a courtroom and nobody else has the status to be there, automatically challenge the jurisdiction of the court.
And you're going to fail.
There's nothing else that you need to say. There's nothing else to be said. Stand mute. Let them proceed, because guess what? They cannot proceed.
They can and they will, and if you don't say anything, the judge is going to say, okay, since you're not going to make a plea, I'm going to make a plea for you. You got to return on this and this date. If you don't return, then a warrant's going to be issued for your arrest.
Proceed.
And see what happens.
You have a question.
How do we make them honor that information that you just passed on?
They ain't.
In the courtroom, as I have learned because I've spent a lot of time there, right? There is a language of silence. After you've said what you need to say, don't say any more. They will do the rest when you stand on your square. That's all you need to do. There's no need to stand there and argue with the judge, and trust me, I've done that. All right?
Yeah, I bet you have.
And once you say what you need to say, they know everything else to do. But understand, they do not want you exposing the truth to their corporate world.
Oh, okay.
Every slave that you take out of their corporation, they lose money.
Oh my God, this is the standard grifter tagline. You know, the more people you awaken, the more they hate it. The more they lose money. I mean, I have noticed that sovereign citizens, the gurus, the people like this woman right here they sound exactly as the alternative health people. Well, they're all in league with the bar association. They're all talking to each other. They're all in league with each other. They're all in it to make money off of you. What? And then you go to the alternative health. Well, it's all about big pharma. Big pharma's going to kill you. They're all in it for the money. They're all in on it. The government agencies are all in on it. It's all conspiracy, man. But the more you become free from big pharma, the more they're going to hate it. They'll never expose the truth.
This is making business. So don't go into the courtroom trying to expose the fraud. That's not your job.
See?
That's not why
Told you.
you're there. There's another venue for that. In that courtroom, because understand it's not court, because it's not law. And I'm going to get into that in a few minutes. So don't try to challenge them on the law. They already know that. They already know they don't have the proper status. They already know.
No, lady, they're like there to say, what the fuck is this person talking about? And is it lunchtime yet?
Know they're operating in your land fraudulently. All right? Just say what you have to say and back off. They will give you the.
Again, a bit of like word salad, word language manipulation, where the idea that a courtroom is somehow different from a court.
Window. And it's up to you. If you're educated enough about the law, you'll see the window, you'll recognize it, and then you'll be able to walk through it and walk out the door. But if you're not conscious, when they open the window for you, I'll give you an example. as I gave in class just a few nights ago. Went into the courtroom.
Yeah, if you see me drinking more, I'll end up doing more voices. Not Herbert. I already did plenty of Herbert, but maybe Kermit the Frog. That'll freak you guys out, right?
And he's just running his mouth. And the prosecutor slides me the paper to sign, and it was blank. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So I signed the paper because I know how to sign contracts and not be obligated to them, right? So I did that, signed.
You know what, Root Words?
They took a copy, I took a copy, and
I have to wonder how many people she sent to prison with her teachings. I'm sure it's a lot.
I left, and I never heard from them again. But if I had stood there, as I shared with class, and I have done this paper is blank, and I'm not signing it, and right? So all I had to do was come into the courtroom and say what I had to say. Now, I know how to present myself in the courtrum, Islam. Right?
Andrew, they would just say that the proof is like has been taken down by Google because Google's in on it. They'll never allow it to be shown. That's what they'll say.
We already know
how they usually operate.
Now, do they have the jurisdiction?
Yes.
The answer is no. Because in order to have jurisdiction, you must first prove status. Everybody in the court.
Irrelevant. The only status that needs to be done for jurisdiction is where were you stopped, and if it's within the territorial jurisdiction of the court, we're golden. Doesn't matter if you are a Moor, a U.S. citizen, a U.S. national, a naturalized citizen, birthright citizen. Doesn't matter. Don't matter. You're subject to the laws.
Must have status on the record. Why is
That's
that
the
so
only
important?
status
Because
that matters.
Your status is on the record. What country do you represent? Says what law you're here to get justice on.
Cats can be subject to them. All right. No problem. New COD release tomorrow. Oh, of course you are. All right, James. Have a good night. See you later.
Right? Now, if
enjoy Black Ops.
Clarified the status for the record, you can't.
I got my PS5. I lucked out. No PS5s are riding on Saturday.
Important. And so, if you're more, and let's say somebody else is.
Now I just need my CPU and I'll be golden.
I'll get to that in a minute. When you have two people of different
zombies, of course,
in the courtroom, you have to decide what law applies. Is there a treaty between the two?
Well, come on, Games here.
Do they have any other trade agreement or contract
I used to have a Games here.
that binds them and obligates the parties? That's the question. All right? So, if you walk into the courtroom and they immediately start adjudicating, you have no idea what law they're using. And I guarantee you, because status has not been established for the record, they're not using any law that applies to you. And they're not using any law that applies to them. They're simply using corporate policy, which is discretionary.
John, it's a reference to South Park. Long time ago.
If they like you today, they'll let you off. If they don't like you tomorrow, they'll give you some time or a fine. Okay?
Yeah.
So status and then jurisdiction. Jurisdiction is going to determine what area, what geographical area encompasses the authority that.
It sounds like either a female version of Sabir and or Taj Tariq Bey. Like that, the level of word salad is reaching Taj levels, in my opinion. Even worse than Sabir. About Tree Fitty? Yeah, I wouldn't pay Tree Fitty for this knowledge either. My roommate told me there won't be PS5s in stores here until February. Oof.
That judge or that court has. All right? So if you're in a municipal court or a court of common pleas, don't go in there talking about the Constitution because they don't have jurisdiction to discuss the Constitution with you. Do not go into a state court discussing the Constitution unless it's the state's Constitution. Because the United States' Constitution, they have no jurisdiction over, but they won't tell you that. They'll dismiss the case.
Emmy, I'm still on PC. I'm still PC Master Race. I just need my new goddamn processor. The only reason I got a PS5 is for the exclusives. I am not missing out on God of War Ragnarok, period, end of story. Or Miles Morales. I really want to play that too. But I digress. This is a discussion for my other channel. Stop it.
Different jurisdictions. And don't go into federal court talking about city ordinance. You understand the difference? Okay. Jurisdiction. Then adjudication. Once you get to the part about adjudication, you have to ask the question, do you understand the law that applies to you, that applies to this matter? Because there's two types of jurisdiction, jurisdiction over the matter and jurisdiction over the person.
There's more than that, but technically, yes. There is subject matter jurisdiction and personal jurisdiction. Those are the two main ones.
All right?
So I'll give her that.
The court have both. They must have both in order to proceed. They don't tell you these things, but this is very
There's
important.
diversity jurisdiction,
So if the court has
territorial
not had
jurisdiction.
adjudication, all right, which for me, I don't have that problem. But once the court gets to the point of adjudication, then they're ready to start prosecuting. They're ready to find you guilty of something, some kind of way. And the reason for that is because it's a business. And once you enter there and they seize jurisdiction over you, they adjudicate for the sole purpose of getting some money. That's the bottom line. They don't.
Remember what I said about her, her sounding like the snake oil alternative health salesman? It's all about making money. Big pharma.
Care about you, whether you're innocent or whether you're guilty. None of that. How much money are they going to get out of this? And their little club that they have called the Bar Association, their members have to be fed. So they want to make sure that this one gets fed and that one gets fed. And that's fine, because that's their corporate thing. That's the way they make money. And if they're going to make money being deceitful and all that, that's the karmic baggage they've got to carry. But you don't want to be a participant to it. That's all.
Wait, you like this voice? Nah, no.
Okay. Color of law. Color means something that pretends to be something that it's not. Colorable court, colorable money, colorable law, colorable people. Any people who call themselves colored, Negro, African American, Indian, Puerto Rican, Chinese, Australian, all of these are colorable labels, but these people for the most part around the world don't even know this. But because they call themselves Chinese, as I was getting ready to say to you, they are part of a corporate nation state as well, because the country of China is Manchuria.
No. Manchuria, as far as I understand, was at one point its own state, but it's a region of China, right? Like Sichuan or Hunan are both like provinces or states of their own. Manchuria is one of those, right, as well.
The nation state, the corporate ward nation state is China. That is not the country or the sovereignty of the people.
Hey, Deacon.
People are Manchurian.
I'm already a beer and a half in, and
say anybody who wants to call themselves
dying.
Puerto Rican. Puerto Rico is a corporate nation state. It is a private, non-profit corporation that has a charter issued by the Moors.
No.
Where they have the
Puerto Rico is a Commonwealth of the United States. Its most recent constitution was formulated in either 1952 or 1954, but it is a Commonwealth of the United States. It is in a limbo-like status, and I'm not going to get into that myself. Puerto Rico and talking about Puerto Rico status is kind of a personal / political issue of mine that I'm not going to get into, but no, it was not something that was a charter granted by the Moors. No.
Authority to conduct commerce and trade on the island of Borincano.
You mean Borinquen? Because that's what the native name of the island is Borinquen, not Borincano. What the fuck?
Boricua.
Boricua. That's from the native Taino, not Moors. Borinquen, Boricua is a name for somebody from Borinquen. That was from the Taino Indians that were there, not the Moors. What the fuck are you on about?
Right? Borinqua. That's the name of the people. Borincano is the name of the island.
Borinquen, you idiot.
Puerto Rico is the private nonprofit.
Puerto Rico was a name given by the Spanish. Oh my god. Puerto Rico, oh my god, was a name given by the Spaniards when they took over and colonized. And San Juan was the capital. Oh, oh my god.
Corporation that has the charter to operate within the geographical boundaries of Borincano. Most Puerto Ricans don't even know that. I go around telling people all the time, you're not this, you're not that.
Who the fuck are you to tell me and tell other people who they are and are not? Who the fuck are you?
This is who you really are, because people have grown up into slavery for generation after generation in all these corporate nation states who belong to the United Nations, which
bitch, you are fucking white. No, I'm not whitewashing, but you're putting in a revisionist history that is taking away from its slave history. What the fuck are you on about? I know, Jeremy. I was trying to remember if that was an urban legend or if that was actual truth. But yes, Puerto Rico. Yes, Puerto Rico was actually the island itself was called San Juan, and Puerto Rico was called the city that is now San Juan, but it was swapped eventually. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that, Jeremy. I knew that as a thing in the back of my head. I was trying to remember whether or not it was an urban myth or something else. But this woman is causing me to lose my fucking mind because now she's talking about shit that's personal to me.
which is a private nonprofit corporation trade association for nation-state corporations. Got it? In order to belong to the United Nations, you have to be a corporate ward state, nation state. Otherwise, they don't want you. And they will go to war against a country and take the people out of their sovereign capacity and say they're setting up democracy all around the world so that they can take people out of their sovereign capacity and take them away from the law and impose corporate statutes.
Oh, goddamn, that's straight up Bush administration, anti-Bush administration rhetoric right there. That should tell you how old this video is. Damn.
On them. And that's exactly what they do.
Nation building.
Now,
she's an idiot.
Law is in full swing.
She's giving me a fucking aneurysm because she's an idiot. She doesn't know what the hell she's talking about, dude. So I don't know why the fuck you think she's good at anything. Her rhetoric has probably put far too many people in prison.
All around the world.
With this seminar that she's doing.
All around the world. And they have a clique where they're all intermingled and they all agree to participate together in this game. Right? Now, it doesn't matter where you go. Just like most people think you need a passport to travel from company to company to company. That are called nation states. So you do need a passport if you call yourself black or African American or a U.S. citizen or any of those things. Yes, you need a passport to travel from one corporate nation state to another. But when you're traveling from one country to another, you do not need a passport. And those countries will tell you you don't. Depends on what you call yourself.
Yeah, I think I've already seen videos of Moorish folks trying that out. Where was it? Antigua. Somebody tried to go into Antigua as a Moor, and they wouldn't let them through because they didn't have a passport, and they tried this BS.
You understand?
I remember it was a Caribbean island that they tried this.
Colorable law and colorable courts. During the Civil War,
Trinidad?
The Moors
I can't remember.
Against each other. Now, we destroyed.
During the Civil War, the Moors went to war with each other.
The Europeans did not come here and bring us down.
Oh, Antigua. Okay, it was Antigua. Okay.
We did not come here and bring us down. We did that from inside, and they capitalized on the carnage. Do you understand? All of these buildings all around here, as I told in class last night, they're ours. They belong to us. They're ancient, these buildings. There's a whole city underneath this city. They've been burned all the major cities, the major energy centers on this globe we call.
Oh no. Now we're getting into woo, new age woo territory now. Ley lines?
And earth. Our ancestors set up these energy centers that we call Philadelphia, New York, Boston, Atlanta, Detroit, right? Chicago, Miami.
I mean, New York City and like Philadelphia and Boston, for example, are old enough to where I could see there being undercities in the there. Like they're old enough to have that. But they're saying that these were built by the Moors.
Miami, Phoenix, Los Angeles, they are energy centers. They're not where they are in huge, large cities just because of some coincidence. There's energy and power in these places. London, Rio de Janeiro, all right? And by the way, we're going to spell it like this, Rio de, which is a normal title of the Moors. Rio de Janeiro. You understand? This thing is worldwide.
What?
This flag that we carry.
Day is a No, day is DE. What?
With the red flag, with the 5-pointed green star, with the pointing up, all right? It's a worldwide flag. It's recognized all around the world, all right? So, the reason we have colorable courts and colorable law is because during the Civil War, when the Moors warred against each other, there were those who agreed to participate in the game called the corporate.
The Civil War was fought amongst Moors against the corporate ward state.
Ward game. And there were many who made a lot of money. They got a commission on everybody they got to sign a birth certificate, because the birth certificate is a contract that puts you in slavery. And they got money. William Penn got very rich, all right? All the Quakers got very...
William Penn was not alive during the Civil War. I don't think. I'm pretty sure he wasn't. Because that's what Pennsylvania was named after. What the fuck?
Rich. All the abolitionists got very rich on this Civil War ward state game.
What?
Robert Morris and a lot of these buildings that are named after these people in downtown Philadelphia became...
Yeah, I told... Go back to the flag. What was she talking about the flag?
They are energy centers. They're not where they are in huge, large cities just because of some coincidence. There's energy and power in these places. London, Rio de Janeiro, all right? And by the way, we're going to spell it like this, Rio de, which is a normal title of the Moors. Rio de Janeiro. You understand? This thing is worldwide. This flag that we carry with the red flag, with the 5-pointed green star, with the pointing up, all right? It's a worldwide flag.
Yeah, that is like the that is the Moorish, or their Moorish flag that they bring with them themselves. You see it in a lot of like Moorish paperwork. It's like a red flag, green 5-pointed star in the center.
The abolitionists got very rich on this Civil War ward state game. Robert Morris and a lot of these buildings that are named after these people in downtown Philadelphia became multimillionaires, and their ancestors...
No, not 523, 5-pointed star. So 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, no wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There.
Are still wealthy today over the corporate ward game. All right? Now, the reason that we have to have colorable law and colorable courts is because so many of us agree to be slaves. We don't need colorable courts and colorable law otherwise. But the people who agree to be bound by the 14th Amendment, which covers civil rights, which covers Negroes and African Americans and Jews and Hispanics and Indians and all these people like that, If you agree to call yourself that, they have to create a statute that applies to you because law doesn't apply to you. So it's not their fault. It's the fault of the people who agree to be outside of their sovereign capacity.
I have no idea what
You
mud
walk in,
flutters
you want to
is or what
reestablish
that
it,
means.
They're at odds because
That's
they're
actually
not-
something I've never
they're
heard
not
of.
accustomed to people walking in who are conscious and sovereign. Hey, you can't separate the two when you walk into a courtroom. And when I say you walk in on your square, I don't standing with your feet at a right angle. All right? I mean, and not to.
God damn, that
deterred.
classic VHS recording, am I right?
You know you're in the fight and you have law on your side. Do not back down. But you do not have to be belligerent. Trust me, I've been there. Don't do that. Okay? Now, the law of the land. The law of the land as it applies to the United States of America and the United States is their Constitution. The law of the land, which supersedes that, which if you go and read the Supremacy Clause of the Constitution, you will see that the treaty, in particular the Treaty of 1787,
No.
which was last signed,
No, wrong! Oh my god!
which was last signed and ratified in 1986. All right, it's re-signed every 50 years. That it's the treaty that is the actual law of the land.
Wrong! Wrong! Wrong, you asshole! Wrong! Oh my god. Treaties that are duly ratified are on the same level as the Constitution. They are not fucking atop the Constitution. Oh my god. Oh my god. My fucking hell. And now she's saying that the treaty is the true law of the fucking land? That's not what the Supremacy Clause means!
That being the case, how do we make that treaty work for us?
They are law. I am not disputing that, root words. They are law. But she just said something that was wrong. That was fucking wrong.
They're not honoring the treaty. This is
The Constitution of the United States is the law of the land here. Here, where I live in fucking New Jersey or wherever the fuck in the territorial jurisdiction of the United States. That is the supreme law of the land, not the Treaty of 1787.
is the oldest treaty in the world. Did y'all know that?
No, that is also wrong. It's one of the oldest standing treaties, but it is also wrong.
And it's
The treaty between fucking Portugal and England is the oldest standing treaty. So fuck you, lady. I know my fucking history.
unbroken and longest standing treaty in the world. Did y'all know that? Now, that treaty protects us. You need to go get a copy of it. The Treaty of Peace and Friendship of 1787. All right? Signed by the Emperor of Morocco. Actually, he signed it in the month of Ramadan in the year 1201.
Then how? Wait, I thought it was 1787. Why the fuck did he sign it in 1201? Did he have the fucking foresight to sign this treaty for a country in a land that didn't fucking exist?
All right? Which translates into the Gregorian calendar year of 1787 because they added 586 years to our calendar.
What?
All right? So, in terms of using the law of the land, and when you express these things to them, you don't even have to go into a lot of detail about it because those who rule and those in government and those who sit on those judicial benches know what this doctrine is.
No! They're going to give the same expression that I'm giving right now, as in, what the fuck are you talking about, lady? This is a traffic citation!
And they adhere to it, but the problem is there's not enough of us standing up defending it. Okay? How to correct the issue. The people must be in their proper person. The people must act in their sovereign capacity. As the brother said earlier, how do you behave as a sovereign? How do you behave as a sovereign? You behave as a sovereign by not getting so upset and ranting and raving and causing a scene. There's no need to do any of that. As I said in the courtroom, as in with law enforcement and any of that, there's a language of silence. Just like the mummers who march down Broad Street every New Year's and they're playing it up and playing it up. What does mummery mean? Silent mockery. Who are
What?
they mocking? Us.
No. The reason I mentioned traffic ticket is because this woman's giving a seminar. She is a guru. She is exactly the person that I despise the most out of all the sovereign citizens, because she's the one who's putting this out for money. She's making money off of presenting this BS. And that's what's going to happen, is that when somebody gets a traffic ticket, they're going to start spouting this BS when they're at the hearing for their traffic ticket.
But they understand the language of silence, and they deal in it all the time with their secret signs and symbols. But don't be angry with them for using these things. Why not? We taught it to them. Okay? Don't be angry with them because they have gotten out of control with the power that we gave them. We created these people. We can't now turn around and say, now we don't want you, now, go off someplace else and this and that. And if you know the history, you know that what the Moors did to these people when they were first created. The Moors considered them subhuman. They couldn't speak Latin, which is our original language.
What? Latin is your original language.
They couldn't go to school, they couldn't own land, they couldn't vote. They were totally disenfranchised. And this is why the Moors commissioned Benjamin Bey, who you know as Benjamin Banneker, who is also Benjamin Franklin.
What the fuck is this? Benjamin Franklin! What was a Moor?
By the way, okay, to teach these people the science of government. He did that for a select few. Unfortunately, it couldn't go and spread as widely as it should have been. Now we have a situation on our hands where we as Moors refuse to be who we are. In the civil rights movement, there were those who led it, who were paid to get us off our square. And we agreed to be there. We agreed to be called black, and we're proud of it, remember? Now, who could tell us any different? Now, the Europeans have a dilemma because they've lied to us so much and we have forgotten so much that if they stand up and tell us the truth, would we believe them? The majority of the people who call themselves African American, right now, if you tell them they're not from Africa, they'll give you hell. Am I right? Yes, we are. Now, can you imagine you're getting that feedback from them. Can you imagine what they would say to a European who now try to tell them they're not from Africa? You understand? Now you've got Bill Gates, who's given $1 billion to the United Negro College Fund, to keep more Negroes out of their sovereign capacity, and they jump right into the boat, right? Play it up to the hilt. Oh, what a great thing he's done. They love him to death. Now, if the Moors try to stand up and say who the man really is, you got all these black people who are going to criticize you. Leave the man alone, they'll say. All right? But we know the truth. So we correct the issue only by standing on our square, whether we're Moors or whether we're not. All right?
Oh, no. Oh, no. What time is it? We're about an hour in. This is probably going to be the last video before I'm going to stop. I have to stop. I have to stop. This is the last video and I have to stop.
What law really is.
This is only about 6.5 minutes.
Law is based upon the science of astrology. Now, let's talk about what law really is. Law is based upon the science of astrology, astrologic. Don't let anybody ever tell you that astrology is for entertainment purposes. It is the science that rules. It is the science that governs. As I said to you, what Allah is, Allah.
Mostly because everything she is saying is so fucking insane that I'm losing it, man. That's why.
Allah. Do we praise Allah? Absolutely. Do we praise Christ? Absolutely, because what, not who, what is Christ? Christ is the great I am. And if you know what Islam means, let me tell you this.
I self-law what? I self-law am master?
Law am master.
Oh.
I am the master of my own fate.
Is everything a fucking abbreviation or was it I'm losing my mind.
I am Allah.
Oh my god. That's so fucking stupid.
All right? When you walk into the courtroom and you know
Acronym, yes, thank you. Is everything a fucking acronym to this woman?
things, trust me, you get a different result. When they ask you your name, you never say, my name is. That's a label. What do you say? I am. I am. You never swear
I am
on the
who I
Bible.
am.
You affirm. You affirm on the Bible. And as
Do you swear or affirm?
Sister Thanai here said to me, oh, they try to trick you. They'll say, do you swear or affirm?
Yeah?
No.
The
You just
same
say,
thing.
I affirm.
Oh my god.
Because what? I am. And who you are. And that's your status. And nobody can compete with that. Nobody can take that from you. And no matter what paperwork you submit to a court, what is the most important thing is when you walk into a courtroom and you speak the law. And when you speak the law in a courtroom, guess what? You speak it into existence.
Remember what I said, like, a lot of these sovereign citizens, like, treat, you know, use, like they think that some of these terminologies and phrases are, like, magic words? This woman really buys into this shit. That words and phrases in law are like magic talismans that you only need to say the words and the spell shall be cast. She seems to take this literally.
Because a thought is an activity. It's real. It may not be something you can touch, but as soon as that thought transpires into a word, it becomes a spell. That's why they call it spell.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I was not expecting that.
You get it? Damn.
Damn it.
Law is based upon the zodiac.
I was not expecting
Damn.
that.
When you walk into a courtroom, there's all kinds of things going on. There's sacred geometry going on in the courtroom.
Oh my god. Sacred geometry?
In fact, the courtroom is set up according to sacred geometry.
How many courtrooms have you been in, woman? They have been in... I've been in so many different courtrooms. They do not all look the fucking same.
Right? And here's what happens when you're in there.
Ah!
The judge is at the top of the triangle. Got it? When you walk in there, and as I had shared in another class...
Are you fucking
with
serious?
marriage, it's the same thing. And I'm going to talk about that also in a minute. You walk in there, and when you appear, never tell the court that you are appearing. Look in the law dictionary and find out the definition of appear. Never do
Appearance?
that. You go into the courtroom and you make a what? A special appearance. Not general. That will get you in trouble every time if you appear in a courtroom. And all of these little nuances, they know these things. And they are put there to trap you who don't know. So when you walk in there and you're on your square, being on your square means to know these things and not to walk in the courtroom uncomfortable Because when you know them, you have no reason not to come to court, do you? You want to be there because you want to make a special appearance to challenge the jurisdiction of the court. Why? Because of the lack of status. And once jurisdiction is challenged, it must be proven for the record. It must be proven for the record before the court can proceed.
And they will demonstrate it once they see what's on the ticket. And there we go. Have a nice day. Moving on.
Do you understand?
You don't.
The judge must come with his nationality.
No!
Papers.
He doesn't!
He must come with the flag of the country.
What?
Not the nation state that he represents. That United States flag with the 50 stars, which now should be 48 because there are only 48 states. Did y'all know that?
What? did Alaska and Hawaii get booted out or something? What the fuck?
2 of them dropped out. Hawaii and Alaska are no longer states. Did y'all
What?
know that? They're no longer states. The treaty was up. They got out.
What? What treaty? What treaty?
I'm kind of going through a lot of things right now. And
What fucking treaty? Alaska was bought by Russia like in the 1870s. It became a state in like 1960 something. Hawaii was taken over in around that same time. And it also became a state around that time. What the fuck? What the fuck?
okay.
And they're clapping! And they're fucking clapping!
All right. The law is used by people in their proper person. When you walk into the courtroom, you should always have your paperwork precede you. Don't walk in there without first having submitted some document to the court to let them know that, yes, I'm coming. And look in the law dictionary and look up the definition of come. It's different than appear. Now, you can come to the courtroom, all right, and make a special appearance. You understand? Never, you get the subpoena or whatever it is in the newspaper, and don't believe all this other stuff where they tell you, don't go to court if you get these papers, because they will put a manhunt out for you.
Also called a bench warrant.
And you do not need that. And there's no reason for you not to go. You should go. You should go, and the more of us that do go and challenge the jurisdiction and let them see we're not scared because we're standing on the square, they will stop calling.
And see, and when your bullshit doesn't work, and the judge continues through the arraignment, and you keep interrupting them and keep challenging them, and when the judge says now you're going to be held in contempt of court, what's going to happen? What are you going to do then?
Calling you to court, all right? Because the people who operate in their proper person, and the more and more of us that go in there operating in our proper person, they're going to begin to see the game is up. The secret's out. We can't do this anymore, all right?
Oh my God. We're done. I'm done. All right, that was the last straw. I have to stop. I told myself, like, I can't do this because I was going to lose my fucking mind, and here I am about to lose my goddamn mind over someone who's saying so much wrong bullshit that I can't even anymore. So I'm gonna stop it here. This was just a taste of the kind of insanity, and now I'm realizing that a lot of what Root Words have been saying to me, a lot of what Root Words' guest has been saying to me that I talked to a couple weeks ago that Root Words knows about, a lot of them, you guys clearly got your BS from this lady and others. Holy shit. And I'm going to stop because I need... This thing made me drunk and hungry, and I need to figure out if I can find some food in the house. So, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. I need to take a break and play some video games. Like, I'm gonna play some Red Dead Redemption. How about that? I'm gonna do that. That's gonna be fun. I can't wait for my PS4 to arrive, or PS5, I should say. And we'll go from there. Have a nice night, everybody. Thank you for watching. Take care. Oh my God. I wish, but everything's closing early thanks to New Jersey's new laws. Oh well.